Welcome back to Political Predictions, and as you can tell by the title, this video is going to be about the political polarization in the United States of America. So we are going to take a little bit of a quick break from the 2024 election and start looking at this another big issue. Even though there has been a lot of craziness going on in the 2024 elections, Biden dropped out, there's been a bunch of stuff happening in the past month. We're going to take a little break and focus on the political polarization of the United States, which is only getting worse and is a very major issue. So we're going to start out with a little bit of history. So as you can see, this is the 1996 electoral map. And if you're wondering what these colors mean, the darkest shade of blue or red is states that have voted for either party three times in a row. So for example, the state of Minnesota, this is the 1996 election, voted Democratic three times in a row in 1996 for the past three elections. Well, a state like Montana, in the lightest shade of red, has only voted Republican one election in a row. So in 1992, it voted Democrat. In 1996, it voted Republican. And take a look at this the darkest shade here. In the left, we can see these are the electoral vote counts, or how many people live in the states that have voted consistently for either party, three in a row. And these numbers are going to get a lot bigger as we move forward in time. So in 2000, we saw George Bush won. We saw a bunch of states shift and look at this huge jump up. However, this can be attributed to Ross Perot's campaign. Ross Perot got 8.4% of the national popular vote in 1996. So that definitely skewed a lot of the stuff here, which is why, and in 1992 as well, he got 19%. So that skewed a lot of the stuff, a lot of states' results in 1992 and 1996, which is why there are so few three in a row states in 92 and 96 here. So in 2000, that starts to get cleared up. We can see this is a huge jump, and this is really when polarization began. 2004, George Bush wins his second term. 2008, Obama wins in a landslide. 2012, Obama wins re-election. 2016, Trump upsets Hillary. 2020, Biden beats Trump. And now this is my 2024 election, and we can see that these numbers have gotten so much bigger than where they started. And this is a little model here you can see. In 1996, 49.49% of the America's population, at least according to Electoral College, which is not perfect, 49.49, or about half of America's population, lived in states that had voted for the same party three times in a row. In 2000, there was a huge jump up, and 1996, as I said before, because of Ross Perot. That's why this number was very low. Usually it is at least a little bit higher than this, but 74.72 in 2000. That is a big jump up. Even with the Ross Perot campaign, that is a huge jump up. That's about three quarters. And as we can see here, it stayed about the same. 2004, 76% of people were living in states that have voted for the same party three times in a row. 2008, 78, 2012, 79, 2016, 76, 2020, 76, and 2024, this is my election prediction right now, which is not too controversial. I have Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada going to Trump, and then Kamala Harris carrying the state of Michigan very narrowly. And that puts it at 86% actually, 86% of the population, which is a huge jump up, 10%, 86% of the American population will be living in a state that has voted for the same party three times in a row in 2024 if my election comes true. And even if it doesn't, even with a lot of this changes, it would still be about 85%. And this is because before, states like Iowa and Ohio were very close swing states. States like North Carolina, Indiana, Missouri, they were very close swing states, as we can see here, Colorado, New Mexico as well. But they've lost their swing state status and have moved so far to the left that they are no longer competitive. And as for Iowa, Ohio, Florida, Maine second, they've moved so far to the right that they're no longer competitive. So the swing state number has really dwindled so much here, and the swing states, like, there's so little. In 2020, there are so many swing states that could have gone either way. There was Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Iowa, Ohio, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, New Hampshire, Maine second, Virginia, and the list goes on and on. In 2024, the number of swing states is Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, maybe North Carolina if Kamala Harris picks Roy Cooper as his VP, maybe Minnesota, maybe New Hampshire, maybe Maine. there's a lot less swing states in 2024, a lot less than there used to be. In 2016, 2012, the number of swing states was even higher. The number of swing states have been declining massively, and this is because of political polarization. And basically, what that means is people on either side of the political spectrum, whether you're Democrat or Republican, they have been moving further from the center and further to their party's radical end. So the people on the left will shift further to the left, the people on the right will shift further to the right. And we can see here that I have a few websites pulled up. In 1994, this was the median. So this is mixed right here in the very middle. This is independent. Means you have no political bias. This means you are an independent. And Democrats and Republicans were both fairly close to this. Democrats were actually almost completely independent. But then look at 2017. Look at this huge shift. Look at how far the Democrats moved to the left. Look at how far the Republicans moved to the right. Look at how polarized our nation is becoming. And this was how long ago was 2017? This was 7 years ago. So the electorate has polarized even more since 2017, and as we can see here from 2020 to 2024, if there was this big of a shift, think about how big of a shift there would be from 2017. There would be a massive shift. So this is going to be even more polarized in 2024. And if we look here in 1960, 4% of Americans in both parties would not mind, or 4% of Americans in either party would mind if their children married people of their opposite party. And look at the number in 2017. This is insane. This is absolutely absurd. 45% of Democrats in 2017 would not be okay if their son or daughter married someone of the opposing party, and 35% of Republicans, more than a third of America's population, is not okay with their children marrying people of the opposite party, which is just insane. So things have been absolutely crazy recently with this polarization thing. We can see here, and things have gotten even worse. This is how we can see how bad it's gotten. Also, this is a different website by NBC. We can see here that in the 40s and the late 40s, Harry Truman, which was a Democrat, the Republicans had a 50% approval rating for him, and the Democrats had a 68% approval rating. And we can see that the orange on the right is the president's party approval. The green on the left is the president's opposing party approval. That's a lot of P's. So we can see that the margin here, the gray in the middle, the difference has gotten so much wider. There is such a big disparity here, to the point where the Obama administration, 11% of Republicans viewed him favorably, 83% of Democrats viewed Obama favorably. And Trump, 11% of Democrats viewed him favorably, 90% of Republicans approved of him. And Biden, 6% of Republicans approve of Biden. 83% of Democrats approve of Biden. And this was taken a few years ago. This is before all the stuff happened with Biden, with the debate, with him dropping out. This is before all this happened. So 83% of Democrats, 6% of Republicans. The margin has gotten wider and wider every year, every election since Truman in the 40s. This has been going on forever. And the reason for this, we can see that there's a bunch of changes happening in the Republican Democratic parties. And the Republican Party, we can see that just over the past 10 years, this was taken in 2022, I guess, over the past 12 years now, there's been a lot more college graduates in the Republican Party. So you can see that 48% of the Republican Party did not have a college degree. In 2012 and 2022, that number was 62%. And if we look at Democrats, Democrats who viewed themselves as very liberal, and these non-fully educated Republicans, these non-college graduates, typically vote more Republican. And as we can see here, even in 2012, there were more non-college educated Republicans than college-educated Republicans. We can see here that Democrats have also shifted quite a bit. Democrats in 2012, 19% of them viewed themselves as very liberal. 29% view themselves as very liberal in 2022. So there's a lot of changes happening. We can see that America has gotten so polarized recently, and this is a major issue. And right now, my theory is that there are two things that are changing this. And there are two things that are causing this polarization. One of them is gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is the concept of changing districts to benefit one party. So let's say that there's a state that is 50-50 Republican and Democrat. A gerrymandered state might make it so 60% of their representatives are Democrat and 40% are Republican by changing the borders around based off the political affiliation of the people in those borders. Gerrymandering is trying to basically rig elections in either party's favor. So that's one reason for it. It is driving people apart. It is separating these Democrats, or combining these Democrats, combining these Republicans into areas that vote the same way, which is why they are shifting further and further apart. In my opinion, is people beginning to idolize their politicians. And this is particularly evident in Donald Trump, but also a bunch of other politicians. People are starting to idolize them. And this is what we can see here. Let me try to find it. This is what we can see here in the like higher and higher approval ratings of the president's party. So in like Donald Trump, we can see here 90% of Republicans approved of him, but most Republicans absolutely adore Trump, and a lot of Democrats absolutely adored Obama. A lot of Democrats absolutely adored Clinton. A lot of Republicans adored Bush. But things have gotten worse and worse as things have gotten more and more polarized. So we can see here that there are just a lot more like diehard fans, I guess, if I don't know if that's the right word for these politicians, and it's driving people apart away from the center. It's making it harder for people to come to a conclusion, and I think this is why there's like such low approval ratings of all of our presidents, of Congress, of the Supreme Court, because we were driven to these polar opposites based on how we were idolizing these politicians, based on gerrymandering, based on political polarization. That's why Biden has a net negative of 17% approval rating. That's why Donald Trump has a net negative 15%. Even Obama, even Clinton, even Bush, all of these, like even older presidents, had very low approval ratings, even during times of good economic growth and stuff. So we're getting more and more polarized, and this is also evident in the approval ratings of Congress and Supreme Court, which have gotten worse and worse over the past decade or so. So things are just really getting bad on the political polarization front, and it could get to a point where we are so driven far apart that it could lead to a civil war or something. That's what we saw in the 1860s over the issue of slavery. We were so polarized at this point, and at that point we are still very polarized today, and it has gotten worse and worse over the past century or so. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the election. Right now I'm at 78, so we're getting pretty close. I think we're going to be able to do it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, completely free, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.